guys, it's Sarah, and today's video is going to be my top 10 drugstore products under $10. I checked and it's been over a year since I've done this video, so it is definitely time for an updated version. I mainly use drugstore makeup on my channel. It is just, I'm just a drugstore person. I love a good bargain. There's nothing more satisfying than a really good makeup product that performs well, that is cheap. I have a lot of drugstore favorites, as you know. I'm gonna try in this video to mention things that maybe you haven't heard me talk about thousands of times already, because there are some drugstore products that you guys know I love and I don't need to mention again, like the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl Mascara. Okay, we all know it's old news, it's an amazing mascara. Things like that obviously are still top favorites, but I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to some maybe products that are a little newer to me or things that you might not have heard me talk about already. So I think I'm also gonna do a top 10 under $5 video. So this is kind of in that $5 to $10 range. One that falls just barely under $10, I think this is about $9.99, is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I really like this foundation. They describe it as a naturally radiant foundation. I wear the shade Alabaster, which is a pretty perfect shade match for me. I think NYX does a good job with their complexion products. They have pretty good shade ranges, at least from what I can tell, and it's just a good foundation. It's definitely radiant, but it's not dewy or shiny or anything. It just looks very natural and skin-like, which is my kind of foundation. I would say definitely medium coverage, buildable coverage. The packaging is just a plain old squeeze tube, but I actually kind of like that because, I don't know, it's just simple. I feel like I can get everything out of here once it does start to run low. I can just easily cut it open and get everything out. So I don't mind the sort of cheap-ish packaging. But yeah, I definitely recommend this. I think that it would work for a lot of different skin types. Even if you have oily skin, I think it would probably still work. I'll be curious to see how I like this in the winter when my skin is really dry, because I'm curious to see if it still looks really good on super dry skin. I'll have to keep you posted on that. But really like this foundation. I think it's just a great drugstore option. Okay, so number 9 is a lip gloss that I really didn't I didn't want to love it because I cannot stand the applicator, but the more I wear it, the more I really love this gloss, the color and the formula. The ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Champagne Mami. I'm wearing this on my lips right now. It's sort of a peachy rose gold kind of color. It's definitely pretty unique and different from anything else that I have. And the formula is so nice. It just like sort of smooths over my lips. Sort of a sheer formula, but the color still is definitely there. The only thing that I don't like about this is this weird brush tip applicator. You can see that the bristles have actually started to fray and stick out, which is super annoying. I don't know why they didn't just put a simple doe foot applicator on here. The brush is just so annoying, but it's fine, and I love this gloss so much that I'm actually willing to overlook the applicator because I just find myself wearing this so much. A lot of the looks that I've been wearing lately, I've been really into peachy, orangey coral eyeshadow, and this just seems to go with every look that I've been doing recently. I'm very glad I have a color like this. Most of my other glosses are more nude pinks, and this is just something a little bit different, and it's so useful. Next, we have a setting spray, and this is actually pretty new to me. This is the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. I have been loving this. It has a light coconutty scent, but it's nothing too strong or overbearing. It's like half the price of the Pixie Glow Mist. It basically does the same thing. It just gives a very subtle glow to your skin. It sort of smooths everything out. That's what I really look for in a setting spray, is just that perfected glow. That's what I love, and this gives that to me. The only downside is the sprayer. I've said this before. I know I could put this into my Pixie Glow Mist spray bottle, but I'm kind of weird. Like, I want it to be in the original packaging, especially because if I'm showing it in my videos, I want it to be in the actual packaging that it came in so that I can easily show the product in videos. I don't know. I know that I'm way too anal about certain things, but that's why I choose to keep it in the bottle. It really doesn't bother me though, because I just kind of hold it farther away from my face and then I'll just tap over it with a sponge and it's fine. So if you don't mind a slightly aggressive sprayer, I think it's wonderful. All right, another gloss because I am just such a gloss lover. It's funny, I have 2 glosses in here, but no actual like lipsticks. I have drugstore lipsticks that I like, but I'm just really into glosses these days. So another favorite under $10 is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Soft Rose. It's just this perfect rosy nude color. I love this color so much. It smells fantastic. It smells like mint chocolate chip ice cream or something. It's just, oh, it's so good. The scent or the flavor doesn't bother me. It's just a very lightly kind of sweet flavor. I don't mind that at all. Beautiful gloss. It just fills in your lips. It's so pretty. I love it. All right, another favorite of mine. This has just only recently become a favorite, but it's the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Monster. It's like a duochrome pearly pink shade. I've already actually hit pan on it, which isn't saying much because I have a really easy time hitting pan on any ColourPop Super Shock products, but I didn't think that I would like a duochrome highlight this much, but it's subtle enough that I feel like I can really pull it off on any normal day. But if you look up close, it's like, ooh, like it's something a little bit different. So really fun if you like subtle yet still interesting highlights. And I just apply this with a finger. I feel like that's the easiest way to apply it. I just apply it like a cream highlight. I don't think a brush would work quite as well. Another NYX Born to Glow product. This is the NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer, and I wanted to mention this because for the longest time my favorite top drugstore concealer recommendation was the Jordana Take Cover Concealer, and it still is. It's just that that one is not very accessible, so this is a much more accessible option that I think is really similar if you like that kind of concealer. It does have a sponge tip, so I know that's not everybody's favorite. I think you could probably pull it off though, and it's so creamy, and there's something very perfecting about it. Even though it's not full coverage, it's more kind of medium coverage, it looks so smooth on your under eyes. It doesn't crease very badly. It's definitely radiant, but not dewy or sticky or anything. So I love it. It's kind of a thinner formula than some other concealers, and so I feel like that helps it just look a lot more perfected on your under eyes, and it's not heavy or drying or anything. So highly recommend this concealer. I am so impressed with it. It's really, really quickly become a favorite, and these two together is like a dream combo. Another relatively recent discovery for me is this Profusion Mauves palette. This is only $5. They have a bunch of different palettes in this 10-pan kind of series. They have mauves, a violet one, there's one called Citrine that looks beautiful. It's sort of like a yellowy gold palette. What else? They have like an emerald one, all kinds of beautiful color stories, but I found this at Walmart. They didn't have a ton of different shades there, but I know you can also purchase them on the Profusion website. This is just like a dusty, rosy mauve lover's dream palette. It's wonderful. I can't believe it's only $5. I really can't. Like, they could be charging way more for this. I'm glad they're not, because it's nice to have a very cheap option like this. But also a little touch that I love is that every shade actually has a name printed underneath it. That seems like a very nice touch. A lot of drugstore palettes don't have that, or maybe it would come on like a clear plastic sheet that you would have to take out, or maybe they would be listed on the back or something, but I really like that all the shades are there. It makes it feel a little bit more expensive than it actually is. I usually end up with a pretty similar look every time I use this palette because, I mean, look at it. They're all in the same color family, so that makes sense. I like this so much more than the Profusion Spectrum palette. That one, it definitely behaves like a $5 palette. This one, it feels a lot more expensive. This has definitely been a holy grail for a long time, but this is absolutely one of my top 10 under 10. The e.l.f. HD powder in Soft Luminance. I'm almost done with this one. You can see it's down to there. This is just such a beautiful loose powder. I use it to set my under eyes pretty much every day. I also love it as an all over the face setting powder. It doesn't even really look like you're wearing powder. That's what I love about it. With loose powders like this, it's very easy to just get a very thin veil of powder over your skin. If you don't like very heavy powdery powders, I think you would really like this one. And it's like $6. I think this is the second one that I've gone through. Is that right? I can't remember. Either that or I've had this one and it's lasted me forever. Either way, it does last a very long time. This has also quickly become a favorite. It's funny, actually, this is the third thing that was recommended to me by my friend Alexandra. We did a collab a couple weeks ago and we each chose some drugstore products for each other to try out, and 3 of those have now ended up in my top 10 under 10. One of the products she recommended to me was over 10, so that wouldn't be in this video. And then the other one was the e.l.f. sheer tint powder, which I also really like. I just haven't been using it as much because I've been trying to pan another powder. So all the products that she had me try have become favorites. Like, I love all of them. But here's another one, the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in Sunkissed. This is like my ideal bronzer color. Fairly light, it's very neutral, almost borderline cool toned, and it's just so easy. It's so easy, blends into my skin tone really well. I've learned that this kind of more neutral bronzers are where it's at for me. They just look so much better on my skin than warm bronzers do. This actually has a very slight smell. It's almost like a much milder version of the smell of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but you hardly notice it. Like, when you're applying it, you hardly even notice it. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, the shade I have is Sunkissed. They also have a couple other shades, but this is so nice. Like, why did I not try this sooner? So good. Finally, it also wouldn't be a top 10 under 10 without a Jordana product. Now, the reason why there aren't more Jordana products in this video is probably because most Jordana products are actually under $5. So those would be included in my under $5 video. But this, I think, comes in right at $5, so I decided to include it in this video instead. The Jordana Sculpt and Go Creamy Contour Stick in the shade Light. This is the only drugstore contour stick that I know of that is this cheap and that is the right tone. Just this perfect, cool-ish toned contour color. It's very creamy. Wow, so creamy. I'm continually impressed. It looks so natural on my skin. It never looks muddy, and that is a struggle that I have with a lot of bronzers and contour products. I feel like they tend to just look really muddy on my skin, so finding a shade that's light enough and cool enough for my skin tone and my undertones is just, when you find that, you gotta hold on to it and appreciate it. This is definitely a product that I've talked about many, many times, but I just felt like it needed to be talked about in this video because, especially lately, I've been really loving it. I've been using it like every single day. It is in my project pan now, but I will happily use it every day, even if it's not in my project pan. I feel like contour gets kind of a bad rap for being like something that you wear if you're wearing like really heavy makeup, but for me, I think this looks so natural and it just really does something really nice for my cheekbones, and I love it. And I have seen this at Walgreens. I've seen their Take Cover Concealer. I've seen quite a few things from Jordana. There actually is a small Jordana display at my Walgreens, and they do have a store locator on their website, so if you're looking for it near you, definitely check there. Of course, it's a pretty small display, but you can always find everything that they make on their website, of course. I think I want to do a full face of Jordana video. I think that is going to be coming soon because they are one of my favorite drugstore brands. I just think they have so many amazing products, and they're one of the few drugstore brands that keeps their prices really low. So those are my current top 10 under 10 makeup products. I love all of these so much. Many of these I can foresee myself repurchasing once they run out. They're just that good. So hopefully you learned about some great affordable drugstore products in this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you again soon, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.